Hello, everybody. This is Sanjay Ghosh. We're discussing about Salesforce Einstein. And what we want to cover today is all about basic building blocks of Salesforce Einstein. When you talk about Salesforce Einstein, the capabilities or the features we want to mean. So before we go there, quick introduction of myself. I'm Sanjay Ghosh. I have around 15 years of IT experiences, around 10 years on Salesforce. I have been working on Salesforce solutioning and Salesforce architecture for quite some time. And the Salesforce Einstein is something which really interests me, enthusiasms me. And we'll be talking about that and a demo where you can see the real life, how real life use cases can be implemented using Salesforce Einstein. What we are saying as a saying that we'll be demystifying the Salesforce Einstein building blocks, remember? And we are calling it chapter 1. So I expect to fill more details and detailed version of Salesforce Einstein chapters. So stay tuned for that. Welcome to the webinar once again. All right, let me quickly share my screen. Yep, so we are talking about Industry 4.0, that is fourth industrial revolution. We have been seeing first industrial revolution when steam engine came into the picture, changed the world, the industry as a whole. The next industrial revolution we have observed when electrical power came into the picture, scientific advancement, before the World War I. And then come digital revolution, where all the digital technologies, cloud communication technology came into the picture and really changed the how we do business, how consumers expect things, how consumer see the value in the commodities they are purchasing. And now we are really entering into the Industry 4.0, that is all about advanced technologies, which is built on the digital revolution chapter. So we are talking about artificial intelligence, we are talking about robotics, we are talking about blockchain, quantum computing, IoT, 3D printing, a lot of noise about autonomous vehicles, virtual reality, augmented reality, so on and so forth. So, and if you look at the trend, the time gap between first and second and third, not so much between third and fourth. So what really changing is technology really shaping up the whole dynamics really fast. And that is something we have to notice here. And today, while we're talking, artificial intelligence, IoT is like everywhere, and it's in our life. Do you want a smartphone? Do you use a smartphone? So we got Shri, we got Cortana, we got Google Assistant. Go to Amazon or any other shopping site. They use machine learning, they use artificial intelligence so that system can automatically recommend you certain products based on your previous behavior. You want all those streaming video apps to see your recommendation, your choices, or pretty much neat and perfect. And that's how we have been using AI in in our daily life as a consumer, and that has been there for quite some time. Now, with the fourth industrial revolution, of course, this had paced up a lot, and a lot more is coming. On the other day, I was just trying out Google Lens app, and it was so brilliant. I mean, if you look at the kind of technology they are using, and the technology is being used to cater to solve our daily life needs, it's awesome. And this is not the last chapter. I'm sure more and more advanced technologies will come in, and will improve our lifestyle, improve the way we lead our life a lot. And AI and IoT is going to be very much in that mix. Artificial intelligence, machine learning are keys way we'll be living our life in the coming days. But what exactly artificial intelligence is? Very simply put, machines that think or function like human. So right from the beginning of computer, there has been conscious effort to make machines or softwares to think or to act or to function like human beings. As a human being, we always try to make sure that machines understands or machine functions in a way as intelligent as any other intelligent beings are doing. While the early adoption or early progress was on the slower side, but recently there has been much of progress. But if I try to simplify and put it forward to you, what exactly artificial intelligence means? So I think three pieces out there. First, it's all about data. More data you have, your machines, your applications, your system, your robots are more smarter. So it's all about data. And what type of data? There is no limit to that. It can be structured, it can be unstructured, but input data or data is the base of all the things we are talking about. The second building block is processing. We are fortunate that we are living in a world where computing power is not that costly. It's cheap computing, be it cloud computing or whether you want to buy some storage yourself, processing power yourself. It's very cheap, and that made this AI adoption possible. So we've got the data, now we've got the processing power, and here lies all the modeling, all the algorithm we're talking about. And the third block is action. So at the end of the day, you want to make sure data and your algorithm or processing power is giving you something which is actionable, which helps in your life. And that's the coming. What we have seen so far is mostly the AI capabilities or machine learning capabilities are encompassing three great areas. One is visual perception, talk about image recognition or something like that. So image recognition kind of algorithms is coming to that. We got speech recognition. So I can do a conversation with the system, and you know that during the last Google convention where they launched Google Assistants and how beautiful it was, how awesome it was. And then you got sentiment analysis. This is sentiment analysis is based on NLP, that is natural language processing algorithm, and it tries to categorize what exactly you try to mean, how you are thinking, right? And so on. So these are the three areas we have been seeing a lot of traction in the AI and machine learning area. So at net on net, smarter applications or smarter system or smarter machine means you have lots of data, you have a cheaper computing power, which can run a lot of complex algorithm to create trends, models, and perceptions. And then based on those data model, you will be resulting into, or you'll be giving out some actions, actionable items, or some decisions, some predictions, and so on. So input data being processed by cheap computing power and set of algorithms and outputting as the desired output or desired action. So that's the way probably we can simplify the whole machine learning or artificial intelligence thing. But one thing disturbed me quite some time, how machine learning, artificial intelligence, all these terminologies are different. And if I can put it very simply, artificial intelligence is the superset. Anything we are doing in the context of or making our software smarter, put artificial, that's a bigger C. And then you got machine learning, how machine learn itself. So there are, in an artificial intelligence world, there can be two types where you need to tell machine what to do, what not to do. And then secondly, you can have machine learns itself. Now we are talking about that machine teaches itself, machine trains itself, of course, based on certain set of data which as an being has to train itself. or as an owner of the system we provide. Learning. Now, machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence, or you can say the building block of artificial intelligence. It's probably a subset of machine learning. Deep learning is a specific way how you can teach or train your machines, your softwares, your robot, your program. Now, primarily based on unstructured data. So deep learning is expected to, work on neural algorithms. It expected to work just like another human brains, and that's how it is. So it's very simple. Artificial intelligence at the top, and implement got to implement learning. Now understand artificial intelligence, how it's going to be in coming days, forget about present, and how we can interpret it, data processing and action. Now, what exactly it means for our business. So when I am a consumer, I really like it. I love it. I love that experience. I love that power given to me by Google Map or so on. But what exactly it means for our business? Or of course, business wants to bring on this power so that they can make their consumers happy. But is it so easy for business to implement a machine learning and artificial intelligence software or in the system, in the process? Probably not. Because it's take a lot when you try to implement a machine learning or artificial intelligence business process or system. It starts right from the data. You need to prepare data. You need to make sure that you have the right kind of data, and you need to bring those data from multiple sources inside the system where you are trying to run the logic. So you need to prepare the data appropriately, or probably cleansing, formatting. You need to make sure that all data makes sense. There is no wrong data, or there is no negative data, and so on. And then, based on your data, you need to define algorithms so that you can identify the trend, identify the model, identify how really things are working. The algorithm does that for you, but you need to write the algorithm. Business need to deploy somebody, data scientist, set of data scientists who can write this algorithm. And then you got to test it, you got to train it, you got to improve that engine before you can deploy for your business. And it takes a lot of time. Once deployed, of course, you can go for prediction and you can start utilizing it in the business process. And just imagine all this exercise you are doing for, let's say, X number of business cases you have in your business. So it's a huge effort, huge investment for business, isn't it? Now, on the left-hand side, if you can see in my screen, spark, intelligence, we all love it, business, consumer, but the hidden complexity, that's where probably the challenge lies. And it's not really easy in terms of money, in terms of time for business to have that kind of implementation in place. And with the pace, things are changing around, it's far more difficult. Now, what's the way out? How our business can develop intelligent system without taking so much of pain, without taking so much of challenge. And here comes Salesforce Einstein. The beauty of Salesforce Einstein is it's not really trying to introduce a new algorithm or concept or new framework for you. It really works on a traditional framework. It really tries, what it really tries to do is try to make your system, business system, CRM here, customer relationship management, try to make it smarter. And each one of that, as a business, you don't need to really worry about a lot of things like infrastructure, like processing power, algorithm, and so on. That's how Salesforce Einstein really can help a business to adapt to the power of artificial intelligence or machine learning, those into day-to-day business processes very easily and fast. I'll show you how fast it can be, when we go to the couple of demos I have planned. But what are the other USP of Salesforce Einstein? So we are talking about an on-demand service. So like Salesforce is SaaS, isn't it? So whenever you need something and whenever you are using something, just pay for those, nothing else. Yeah. And so it's on demand. Whenever you need it, you can have it. You don't need to, word or lag time or something like that. It's not that I ordered today and I get the service after 2 weeks, that. And it's ready to run. The way Salesforce has, in my opinion, revolutionized this whole thing is they have created a framework, which we call it auto machine learning, where they are not really building consumer specifically artificial intelligence model. Rather, they have tried to develop a framework where it can generate itself based on customer use cases, based on customer data, based on customer context. It can just create another service for you and bring that service, machine learning, artificial intelligence service to you so that you can easily deploy it with no lag time, no waiting time. Power of Salesforce, like Salesforce platform, the data already if you are a Salesforce customer, right? You will be able to leverage the existing data. So you don't need to really worry about data source. You don't need to go through the data process again. You don't need to connect the data again. So you already have the data in your system, and you can utilize the data to really create those correlations, those patterns, which is required by your processing engines and processing algorithms. Not only that, what if you are not a Salesforce customer right now? You want to bring in external data. That is also very easy. In fact, I'll show you both the examples, how you can play on the or apply the machine learning on the existing data versus how you can really apply the machine learning on new data or external data coming from another source. So this auto ML, this automated machine learning framework is really the cornerstone of all the Einstein services you can see around. All the Einstein services we are talking about is basically based on that. Some other flavors, in some of the flavors are probably more mature, some of the other flavors requires more administrator or developer intervention, and so on. And of course, artificial intelligence makes, the Salesforce Einstein makes art, machine learning and artificial intelligence for everyone. It's really, in true sense, democratization of artificial intelligence. What does that mean? That means probably in a few years back, if you really want to start with artificial intelligence, you need to make sure that you have certain background in terms of education, in terms of learning. If you are not really a data scientist, as a company, if you don't have a data scientist, you really don't have a way to go for artificial intelligence implementation. But things have changed now. With Salesforce Einstein, what we are talking about here is you can be an administrator, you can be a business person. You don't really need to know the statistics and all those complex formulas of mathematics. You can just be a user of the system, and still you can implement or you can convert your business process into artificial intelligence business process or smart business process, as we say it, smart applications, isn't it? And that's how Salesforce Einstein has changed the whole scheme of things. Right now, I want to deploy, a smart process. I don't need to go out in the market and hire scientists, data scientists. Of course, there is provision for the smarter people or the data scientist people in this scheme, but not at the beginning. I can still go forward if I have the right data. I can still go forward, point and click. I can implement what I want to, and that's the beauty for administrator, for business, for developer. So there is everything for all of those stakeholders in this platform. We'll see very shortly how really it works. But at the bottom line, we're talking about smarter applications, and we have customer data in Salesforce. We have that AI platform, which is nothing. And of course, the whole thing can be matched up with Salesforce platform features, which is Lightning platform. And all these three things together, big picture. That is more than enough. smarter applications, smarter business applications, how this really thing works. Let me go back to my slides. Yeah. Here's a quick history of Salesforce Einstein. But before we start talking about different features, let me spend a couple of minutes on this because this is very interesting and how things have moved so fast in the last few years. So Salesforce has started its Einstein or machine learning or artificial intelligence journey quite some time back. It's not even 2014, it's even that. But in 2014, with the acquisition of Relate IQ, they made a giant step in this area. Initially, it was all about Salesforce IQ product, but that was the beginning, or you can call it a milestone. In 2015, they got more acquisition, Smart Calendar Assistant Tempo AI, and that is also offered through Salesforce IQ product. In 2016, they made several acquisitions. One of the significant acquisitions made was Prediction IO. And whatever we are going to see today is basically based on Prediction IO. And what Salesforce did with Prediction IO is they acquired it and they basically made it open source after that. So today, as a developer, if you are interested, you can go to the Prediction IO site, download the framework, package, prepackage, templates, and just deploy it, make your changes, and go ahead. They also acquired product like Beyond Code, Demand Joy in the 2016 itself. And 2016, they started with, or they introduced the Salesforce Einstein, Salesforce AI platform. But it did not stop there. I mean, it's getting matured. Of course, there is implementation development around it, but it doesn't stop there. They keep acquisition, they kept improving it internally and externally. Internally through organic implementation and externally through the acquisition thing, right? And that's how you see the acquisition of data or acquisition of like products coming. And 2019, I expect more and more focus on Salesforce AI, that's for sure. And we need to just wait and watch how things realized. Now, let's talk about Salesforce Einstein offering. This is my single slider for you when you're talking about different Salesforce Einstein features. It's a single view. You can just take a screenshot of this and you get a single view. If you look at this, the notable point is that Einstein offerings are working on different kinds of data. As I was talking about, you got CRM data, you got email, calendar, social data coming through Facebook, coming through Twitter, and so on. And you also got external data, including Internet of Things. If you are getting data feed from your devices and etc., so you can basically build your platform, build your machine learning algorithm, build your machine learning that. So Salesforce Einstein allows you to do that. If I want to break down Salesforce Einstein, probably I will break them into three pieces. One is out-of-the-box applications. Number two, my Einstein or platform services. And number three, I call it custom model, which is not on the Salesforce Lightning platform. So let's take one by one and try to see how these things works, right? So first, out-of-the-box applications. That's bread and butter for Salesforce. I mean, Salesforce started with software as a service, and these Einstein applications basically aligns to that particular philosophy. So these are software as a service. These are your Einstein as a service. You don't need to do any development. You don't need to do any training. You don't need to do detailing. All you need to do, pay the subscription fees as applicable. For Sales Cloud, it is applicable. And you just configure a few text boxes, point and click, save it, and you're fine. Your business process is machine learning enabled. Your business process is smarter than ever. And I'll show you how simple is it, how simple it is with Sales Cloud Einstein feature lead scoring in a short while. Similarly, we got Sales Cloud Einstein, Service Cloud Einstein, Marketing Cloud, Community Cloud, Commerce Cloud. So all those clouds Salesforce offers are now powered with artificial intelligence, that is Salesforce Einstein. And some of those features are really free. Come to that. When you're talking about platform services, it comes in twofold: fast point and click, and then we got API services, where you need some developer to line few lines of code, but it's really easy busy. It's not really data scientist job. We'll see that snippet too. When you're talking about point and click, we have several features like prediction builder, Einstein next best action, bots, the voice, which has been introduced last Dreamforce, Einstein Discovery, which is part of the Analytics Cloud or Salesforce, and so on. On the API service side, we got 4 blocks or 4 areas. Einstein Vision, where you can implement 2 things or 2 types of algorithm or 2 types of use cases. One is image classification and one is object detection. Image classification is nothing but you train your engine or you train your model with a set of images. Let's say you can show him some image and tell them that this is office premise, office building, and then you show some other image and show that these are residential premise, residential building. Once your model is trained and you can use it, your consumers are use it, then you can just give any image to machine learning algorithm, should be able to whether that is a resident office premise building or office building. So you can have your own use cases like that. It can be car versus bus or vehicles kind of thing. It can be mountains versus beaches and so on. Whereas object detection is basically really detects the particular object. Normally used for use cases like say in a grocery shop, you have certain items, so it can count how many packs are there in the stack. So it detects that particular object and with certain coordinates and all, and then it counts and it can give you the right count. So you can monitor without manual intervening that when your stock is low or whenever a particular product sale is high. On the other side, we got Einstein language, and again there are 2 parts of that. Have intent, where you can do some kind of categorization. One of the examples we've seen in today's demo is if somebody is complaining or sending a message raising some concern about the product they have bought, the consumer maybe is tweeting, maybe sending an email, maybe just calling the call center and raising the issue. The Einstein language can categorize that particular concern, the message, based on whatever your consumer, your customer has shared with you, and identify which type of question, which type of query, or which type of incident it is. It can be very simple information request. It can be really big complaint that customer is very unhappy. And to understand customer sentiment over the social media or over the public spaces, use Einstein language sentiment analysis, sentiment. And the way it works again, it understands, whether you are happy, you are sad, you are angry with our product, and so on. So Einstein language sentiment can identify all those different sentiments based on the given data. Of course, you need to train those models before you deploy. The third item is prediction IO. In my language is custom model. And Salesforce barely provides something like this one. So this particular model is based on prediction IO framework, which I just talked about in the previous slide. And the way it works is you need to have your own server. I mean, I have used case where I have used Heroku. So I have created a couple of servers on Heroku and deployed my engine, deployed my event thing. You need to write your own algorithms, provides or produce certain templates which you can take, and then you modify those, can use multiple algorithms together. And for this use case, you may need somebody who understands those formula, those statistics, building model. model, again diversified. Of course, you can have your Salesforce applications and they can send a request and take some service and display, and that way you can make your business application, business process smarter. But the whole thing about machine learning or artificial intelligence is happening outside of Salesforce, which is of course Salesforce. It can be AWS, it can be any other storage software, any other computing. In fact, you can have those servers or this machine learning stack hosted on your own machine. You have the correct configuration and correct frameworks are installed. Right? So that's our third thing, that is custom model. So we talked about out of the box apps, number one. Number two, platform services, both point and click and code based or API based. And number three, which is your algorithm, you bring in algorithm, you mash up your algorithm, we call it custom model. So these are the three flavors of Einstein we have as of today. But keep a tab on this because Salesforce keep pushing new features every release, as you know, and things may change very, very, very quickly. But this is what, a top level view we have of Salesforce Einstein today. Now let's have for each of these areas. That's our out of the box apps, right? As I talked about, for each of the clouds, Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Community, Marketing Cloud, you got Einstein services or machine learning services already embedded. For some of the things you need to pay, for some of the things it just comes to your existing subscription. Not you need to talk to your account manager or you need to just look at a cheat sheet to understand what is provided, what is not. But the way it works, I just put an example here on lead scoring, if you could see. So I have the CRM data in my org, in my Salesforce environment, and the way if I enable it, lead scoring feature or Einstein scoring feature for my leads, the way it works, it reads through all my last 6 month data or all my data and try to understand, try to create the pattern. In the background, of course, I don't see that. When I enable it, it takes some time to really get the service ready for me. And then CRM data, model creation, and then it can start predicting. And the beauty is you don't need to train or retrain them. If tomorrow you have a lot of data coming in again, say next 6 months you generate a lot of data which by pattern is different, Salesforce Einstein will make sure that engine is retrained with the new data automatically. And that's where I think business has the power. Business really is not worrying about anything else. They are paying subscription fees. They are just enabling it in their org. And after that, they are just using it. And Salesforce Einstein on the background is taking care of everything. Now, let's have a look at some of the other out-of-the-box features. Sales Cloud Einstein, as I said, account and opportunity sites, forecasting, activity capture, automated contacts, recommended connection. Commerce Cloud very expectedly got some of the things like product recommendation, predictive short, customer commerce insights. Community Cloud, again, I think it's very expected that you will have something like recommendations, experts, what the recommended expert for you visiting a community. And Marketing Cloud, of course, it comes with different kind of feature you are using. Social insights coming through Social Studio, instant recommendations, engagement scoring that is coming through DMP, Salesforce DMP service. And in Service Cloud, you have bots. Again, you have bots, a simple bot, which is not really a smart or Einstein, it's just a question answer, simple. As well as you can have your smart bot, which is Einstein bot, and you can train your bot so that it can be really a conversation rather. You can have a classification. Of course, the voice is also coming in. I expect that will be integrated with Service Cloud very soon. So that's our out-of-the-box apps. We'll see the lead scoring thing live demo, few minutes. Then we got this point and click. Though it's a content-heavy slide, I'll quickly take you through. So we got the prediction builder, which is one of the favorite. Now let me spend a minute on this one. So what is really prediction builder and why we need it? We talked about lead, right, or opportunity in the previous slide. So Salesforce is already providing some model which can traverse through all the lead information, opportunity information, and give you back the right prediction. But let's say you want to have some prediction or some algorithm to run some kind of smart decision making on a custom object. How about that? How can you apply machine learning algorithms provided by Salesforce on your custom object? Here comes prediction builder. So with prediction builder, you can create your custom model based on any Salesforce field or any Salesforce object, including all the custom object, right? And response can be binary classification. Primarily it is yes and no, but it can be numeric fields. The next feature is Einstein next best action. Now again, there are two flavors of this particular feature. One is without really any Einstein logic. So you basically define your rules and decide that when you propose what, like for example, if some customer has bought certain products, you may want to give him a special discount. Have a rule, like if you buy more than 1,000 or 10% discount. But at the same time, rather than it's rule driven, you can also make this decision making based on Einstein. And that's why this appears in this slide. We got bots. I talked about bots. You got intelligent chatbots, which works on natural language understanding, and it understands what you are trying to say and respond back with the right responses. So there is some detail, probably not in the scope of this session. The new one, the Einstein voice, which is still in pilot. It uses leverage speech recognition, ASR, and NLU algorithms. Einstein discovery, which of course helps our business to make certain decision, correlation, understands how particular phenomena is happening or how they can predict business outcomes. But at the end of the day, I think the theme is very clear. In out of the box apps, you really you don't need to do anything. It's you who is choosing getting trained, whether it's custom object field or Einstein bots from the algorithm side. It is all taken care of by Salesforce. All you need to do, train the way you want, train the way it is relevant, take it forward. And then we got these API services. Now, probably this is a place where I can explain this training, data, and outcome, all these things more clearly. Yes, you don't need to think about algorithm. You don't need to worry about how Salesforce is really implementing machine learning or artificial intelligence. All you have to do is these 3-4 steps. What is that? First, if you can remember, are primarily around language, right? So first, you need to create some class variables so that is relevant for your business. We talked about mountain versus beach, right? We talked about bus versus maybe car. We talked about residential premise versus office building. So these are the kind of classes, and it can be more than two. I'm just giving an example of in pair of two tools, but it can be more than two. It can be anything. It can be, let's say that you are trying to categorize the case elements, right? It can be service, it can be sales, it can be information, it can be complaint, it can be financial implication. A lot of categorization you can have the way you want, which is relevant for your business. Next step, number 2, what you have to do is you have to gather the right kind of data so that you can train the given algorithm. And don't forget, everything you are doing using an API. And you can also have some of the code base coming through the JIT or provided by colleagues or developers, which you can utilize to implement your GUI. But at the end of the day, it's all a REST service, exposed as a service, which you can use seamlessly. So once you have the data, relevant data, you need to create the data set. And then Step 3, you need to train the model. So this is the API, like vision/train, right? Once you train the model, your model is ready and deployed, and you will be able to start using it. And how do you use it? You make a request that Salesforce Einstein, please make this prediction, provide the input, and the model works and give you the prediction. Now, how correct, how wrong this prediction is, it is dependent on your data. So this is always the best practice recommended specifically for business, that you always make sure there is a look back. There is a way you can provide feedback, you can retrain, and you can improve. The more you use, the more mature, the more correct your model is. And of course, then you can expose the whole thing as an API and start using applications like a service call, REST service call. So that's our API service. And then third one, custom model. Basically gets hosted outside of Salesforce Lightning platform. It can be Heroku, it can be AWS, it can be. But at the end of the day, you need to have two servers. Storage, the event server, have some engine where your algorithm will run, and it will be on Salesforce. Can not necessarily your Java app or any other native app, anything. Anything which can make a service. But that's not Einstein. Einstein is here. Prediction is here. How you're categorizing those, you are making them deploy. And there are around 21 templates, algorithms is there on the prediction site where it started. Of course, you need to know certain language. I saw one Java-based template, but rest of the templates are on our language. So you need to make sure that you understand those languages. Right? And all these templates are based on JS. That's a JS architecture. All right. So let's quickly jump into our demo. Let's try to show how things works. So which one first? Go back. Let me show you field coding first. Please poke with your questions so that I can take those. So see scoring. Open up my org. It's my list scoring. Go. Taking some time, please bear with me. Yeah, that's Einstein's new logo. Earlier it was a rocket, then cycle. All right, before I show you how to configure, let me try to see the outcome. I think that will make more sense. My launcher. Let's go to sales. If you're familiar with Salesforce, this is a cakewalk for you. And then I want to show you list scoring. I have already enabled it. So let me go to the leads and open up, let's say Sanjay Ghosh. So the scoring here, there is a possibility that 98% possibility that this lead converted. Why? Company is valid and is the negative part is I'm a manager, so I may not have the decision making capability. Let me try something more. let's say this one. Why it is so low? Let's observe. Positive things, company is valued, lead sources specified. The title is marketing manager and another smaller. So the reason marketing manager is shown as a negative because this earlier deals which are closed or earlier leads which got converted, hardly the decision maker has been marketing manager. And the trend has been always the annual rates. Whenever you see 120, it's a probability that this lead may not get converted based on the earlier data set we have. Right? Now, let's quickly see how this really works. What exactly I did to set this up. Now, when I try to set it up, first I went to the setup. Again, if you are familiar with Salesforce, it would be very easy for you. Go to the setup. Let's search for Einstein. Sales, because lead comes under sales. And let's talk about Einstein setup. Give it some time to come up. All right. Now look at this. Yeah. So I got a lot of options here. It's activity capture, lead scoring, opportunities. These are all sales cloud, right? And the one we are exploring, as you see, I have already enabled it. But let us see what exactly it means when I say I have enabled it. Try to review the settings. The first, I described what exactly meant for lead conversion. So how do I make sure that my lead is successful? The probability is higher, right? And this is what there are two options. I just selected this one. We don't need to understand business process wise because it's really related to your customer business process. Whether you want to select it converts to a contact and account or contact account and opportunity. And then whether I want to use all the fields of lead object or lead table to make this decision making, or I want to ignore certain fields. So here I have selected all the fields, right? And then I just make the finish. So it's a couple of decisions, a couple of radio buttons I selected, and then I'm all set. That's all I needed to do. And when I enabled it, it took a while because depending on your numbers of data, number of leads, number of existing data, it may take some time. You can really started using it. News is, if you want to enable it, try it out, and go to the trail and just loading around the API. Now, this will show you the code, show the experience, right? So here's my another work I have shared. One of my colleagues helped me to set this up. His name is Akash Bisinde. So thanks, Akash, for setting this up for me. And let's see how it works. So what I have done here, so before I show you the use case on the demo, let me quickly take you through the use case. So more or less, I have implemented this flow for this demo. And I have used intent API. So the flow is, I try to categorize or case my incidents. And to do that, I have chosen few categories. One of them is sales, one of them is service, one of them information and help desk. So I have 4 categories. And then I collected some data. See if I can look up the data for you. So this is so simple, but I created this data set for this training purpose. A model with this set of data, and you can see two columns. So I just tell my system, tell my artificial intelligence model that if that is, can I change my credit card? That's information, and so on. So normally in a real life use case, you should have this data from historical information of your enterprise or of your customer, of your business. So normally business should already have this data available in some forms. But yeah, I mean for trial purpose, for development purpose, later on data. So I use this data. I run this command. Of course, the vision need to change because I'm using intent. I run this upload command, and then I created this data set, and then I train them or train the model with this set of data, and we'll see how this prediction works. So let's see that. So, all right, a moment. Okay, I okay, so this is where I have for base service platform services. Oh, check what it is. So thanks to Akash for creating this for me. So all I need to do is click here. Click. Wow, Wiper is not working. Is 99% service. True. Let's try. Let me try to change and more let's see how it works. That will the check on the automobile industry. So that's why I'm typing this kind of query, detail. Uh, it's not working. Let me try again. To everyone. Here we go. So as I said, okay, I want to drive. Yeah, and let's wait. Drive. Let me see what my Einstein model says. Good. It looks like for this question, it says sales. Yes, I'm trying to take this drive it to be sales. So similarly, you can try to try out anything. But the point is, it's not only for case, but you can apply this kind of mechanism. Einstein will categorize it as sales, information, service, and help desk. Which one? Looks like we are back. Then we can start again. Just waiting for the information. Perfect. All right. So we are trying to show you how the model will react to the new subject, which is engine light stop. Let us see. Present it to everyone. Yep. So this is why I entered before this interruption. And if I click here, wow, it's 95% engine light stop. So we can go on, trying, or creating a new case. The idea is that I have trained the model with a set of data, and then the data is giving me some output. Now, what if this output is not as per my expectation? So that way, I need to retrain it. And for retraining, this is the thing I used last time when I retrained it, right? So you can go on and you can just use the APIs and you can use your test data and create your own model and impress your customer, or it can be applied for your customer business, or you can also do it for learning purpose. Let me also quickly show you how a typical prediction model, a prediction IO custom model looks like. So I created something back, so I'll show that, right? So here's my hero instance, and right now you see a lot of are running here, instances are running here. But the two things I needed are I needed an engine and an event server. This event server, and engine. So I got my event server here and engine here. If I click on the event server, this is nothing but a dynos. It's a free dyno, of course, and it is related to our, we have a plugin to Heroku Postgres database. So again, it's free, so you can also use it. And then we got engine. So these two things works together to give you the prediction model which you want to build. And here you can have your own algorithm, which you can write down. You can take it from some of the open source forum and try to mash up different algorithms too to build your model which is relevant for your business case. So you can create some of the use cases which Salesforce is already providing, but you are not happy, let's say. You want to implement it a different way. So custom model, which is based on prediction IO, is the way out for you. Right? With this, we are almost into our session. So before I go off, let me share what can be your next step. Right? So if you are on Salesforce, then definitely you can explore Trailhead, and you can try to check out some of the trail mixes out there, which is related to artificial intelligence and Salesforce Einstein. They're really good, and some of the hands-on are also available. So I really loved it. So I'm sure you will like it too. If you are not in Salesforce, then I would recommend that you understand basic of Salesforce, because you don't really need to be an expert Salesforce guy to understand Einstein. And then you can jump on the Einstein. And I hope this session can help you to get the first things cracked. And in case you are not really, excited about Salesforce, fine. You can try out the prediction IO thing. You don't really need a Salesforce, or you don't need to have any kind of Salesforce background for that prediction IO piece. You can go to the prediction IO site, download the template, and deploy it your own server. whichever server you like to. It can be Heroku, it can be AWS, it can be anything else. And if you have any question around Salesforce Einstein thing, then you can connect me on my Twitter handle. Here we go. You can follow my blogs on the maxwell.com, as well as you can follow on my Facebook page. If you are enthusiastic about Salesforce, if you are enthusiastic about AI, Salesforce Einstein, Salesforce AI, then let us collaborate. If you have any question, drop me a note. I'll get back to you. And stay tuned with the Maxwell channel on YouTube for the next live session. Probably we'll call it chapter 2 and chapter 3 that will come. Thank you so much and have a great day. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.